Finding an angle measure of a triangle given two angles. All right, so one thing that I hope you remember about triangles, I've said it a lot of times in my classes, and I'm sure you've heard it before this, all triangles have to add up to 180 degrees. So it doesn't matter how you draw the triangle, all the angles have to add up to 180 degrees. If they don't, it is not a triangle. It doesn't work. So they have to be 180 degrees in order for this to work. So if we know that all the angles have to add up to 180 degrees, it does make it a little easier to figure out a missing piece. So in this case, I'm given a triangle, and we have 56 degrees, 69 degrees, and then we're missing a piece. Well, if we have these two pieces and we add them together and we subtract that from what we know they have to add up to for all three of them, we will get this 180. And the way it's written too is if I say 56 plus 69 plus x equals 180. So we can write it out in an equation like this too. And then I would add these two like terms. So I would get, let's see, I'd get 125 plus x equals 180. And I would subtract 125 from 180 on both sides. So this becomes 0, x comes down, and I get 55. So I would get x equals 55. Do we need to write it in this big equation? No, you don't necessarily need to. If you take 56 and you add the 69 together, you'll get the 125, and then you can subtract that from 180 like this. So you don't necessarily need to write it in the equation because I can get it by just subtracting what I have. So I know I need to get all three adding up to 180 degrees. So if I simply subtract what they give me for the two angles from 180, I'll see what's left over. And the part that's left over is what x has to be. All right, so let's go ahead and erase this and go ahead and get started here. All right, so again, we know they have to be 180, but first they give us 71 and 45. Whoop, I forgot to switch over to pen. So 71 and 45. I'm going to add them together. So I have a total of what I've already been given. So 6 and, what is that, 11? Yes. So we have 116 total because we added them together. This is what we're already using of the 180 degrees that it has to add up to. So I'm going to subtract. So I end up with 4 and 6. And this becomes 0. So this is what's left over for x. So x has to equal 64 degrees so that they all add up. Oops, didn't mean to put 7 up on there. So they all add up to 180 degrees. All right, next. So erase and pen. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. So on this one, we're given x on the top, 48 on the left, and 43 on the bottom. So we're given 43. Or 48 and 43, we're going to add those together. 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 8, 9. So we're using up 91 degrees already of the 180. So we're going to subtract to see what's left over. So I'm subtracting. I get 9. I'm going to have to borrow again for this one. So I end up with 8. So I end up with 89 degrees. So x has to equal 89 degrees in order to add up correctly. Check. Yay. All right, one more. I don't even necessarily need to erase this. I can just work down here. All right, and I'll change colors so you know it's a different problem here. So we're given 118 degrees, 31 degrees, and we need to find x. So we're given 118 and 31. So we're going to add those together. 9, 4, and 1. So we're using 141 degrees of the 180. So we need to subtract to see what's left over. It's 7, we get 1, we get 3, and that becomes 0. So x has to equal 31 degrees because that's all that's left over for it to equal. And we're done.